People are pissed. Not people, games journalists, people that believe that big names, they own those big names. Those big names should be speaking on their behalf, whether it be individual people, but especially with companies, big companies, various companies. And especially after the Summer of Love in 2020, unlike we had previously, we saw so many companies take the sides of various social issues that have nothing to do with their company, but they felt like they had to do a statement. Now, that was a mistake, because now you have allowed these people, like, well, every time something comes up, they think that you're supposed to take their side. And you cater to these bunches of weirdos, and at some point, it'll never be enough. And it's going to be interesting to see what unfolds. Now, we know what happened with this whole abortion issue becoming an issue again, as far as people talking about it, because of the potential, well, it wasn't a potential leak, it was a leak. That's Roe v. Wade, well, let's say potential overturning of it. It got a lot of people up in arms, all the typical people, the same people who are calling, this same people that are like Ukraine flags, Black Lives Matter hashtags. Last week it was this issue, now it's, hey, guns need to be banned type shit. It's the same people. Like, these people have one generic opinion on everything. They're very predictable, and you can look at them and what type of color their hair is and really tell where their positions are. But if I'm not mistaken, the person that wrote this article has blue hair. Let's take a look. Yeah. What are these fucking odds, man? Check that out. So the person that wrote this article, all right. Oh, man, I did not know this. I just looked. I promise you I did not know this before I started this segment. So the person that wrote this article has neon colored hair. They have this, I don't know what the fuck, purple orange shit going on. And in their article or their page on IGN, they have blue hair. Typical suspects here. They in the pronouns in the bio, rainbow flag. It's so predictable, but I didn't know that. I'm not going to lie. I did not know that. That just happened to be the case. Writes an article. This was the article's title. EA tells employees it won't speak out on abortion trans rights. Deviating from recent statements of studios like Bungie and Double Fine. Now, it's sad that we're even having to talk about this, right? It's like, damn, you make fucking video games. Your position on like this issue right here, like, why are you even doing that? You're a company, you make video games. None of you guys as companies were ever propped up because of your positions on social justice. That had nothing to do with why people like your product or were fans of your product or will buy your video games. You make video games. But again, as we said before, people have now started taking these, or not people, the companies have started taking these positions. It's one thing for the individuals within the company to do it. They're all going to have various political positions, social positions. But what has made these last couple of years unique is that so many companies have put themselves out there to take sides of social justice publicly and do it with their company brand. So EA told that, now I do think this whole abortion thing kind of showed that it's not that the pendulum's swinging. It's that it's slowing more so in the direction that it was going. Because I think if this was 2 years ago, a lot of folks are like, well, I would take whatever position the authoritarian left, social justice left wants me to take. Whereas now, a lot of people have started to see that this doesn't really make money. Some cases, it hurts you in terms of the money that it is that you are going to. My wife just texted me, said, I shit you not, has nothing to do with this video. There's a spider and web in the mailbox, and I'm scared. I need your assistance after the show. So apparently there's a spider in the mailbox, and I'm responsible for taking care of it after the show. So we'll get to that. But anyway, companies take position. They realize they didn't make money by backing the authoritarian left. And now they're like, okay, I don't know, maybe we should stop just a little bit, slow it down just a little bit. What does this person write? As other companies in video games industry speak out about abortion rights in the wake of the government's recent decisions. Electronic Arts is telling employees it plans to stay silent. This is a big deal. According to a report by Kotaku, during a company meeting on May 24th, multiple EA staff members questioned executives about a possible statement. See, this is why you don't hire activists. Imagine you owning a business and your employees are reaching out to you saying, hey, where is your statement on this issue that has nothing to do with you? I'm firing your bitch ass on the spot. What the fuck you asking us about this shit for? Talking about us taking, but just get your ass out. I'm firing your ass on the spot. This is why y'all I did what? We've done 2 segments like in the last 3 weeks. I'm telling y'all, stop hiring these people, man. Stop hiring activists. It's not worth it. I don't even care if they're somewhat talented. Though most of them aren't. Even if they're somewhat talented, I don't care what boxes you think you need to check. Don't hire these people. Imagine that someone working for me. I've employed you to do a job, right? You make money to perform a service for me. And then you hitting me up, the bosses, talking about, where's your stance? I'm going to be like, nigga, who you talking to? Get the fuck out of here. That's what I do. You're out of here. What the hell, you? That's so inappropriate, man. You are out of here. Members questioned executives about a possible statement regarding these 2 issues. In response, they were told the company wouldn't announce a stance because being an inclusive company means being inclusive of all those points of view, which is true. To leftists, that's not what inclusivity means. Inclusivity I don't fucking care about inclusivity at the end of the day. You can fucking ostracize or keep people out of whoever you want, gatekeep, whatever. It's your property. Do whatever you want. But that's true. The idea of being ever inclusive would include the points of view that you disagree with. To leftists, that's not what that term means. Inclusivity, diversity, all those terms mean different colors and genders saying the same shit. That's all that it means. That's it. That's what inclusivity, diversity, and all those, that means that. Because, of course, it's not like they're going to be hiring a bunch of me's when they need to check the black box, right? When it's like we need more black people because of affirmative action or whatever commitment to diversity that we have. You think they're going to get motherfuckers like me? Of course not. They ain't who they try to hire. It's more like all motherfucking black folk that think in this way. So the thought is not there. It's not inclusive of people's thoughts. It's not diverse in terms of people's thoughts. It's only you have to have the same position, but y'all can be various colors and races and shit. That's it. But I'm actually surprised imagine EA being a company that says, well, we're going to be consistent on this issue. Well, though they're not, but you get what it is I'm saying. Imagine EA of all being the one. Is EA... Oh man, EA is nobody's hero, but it just would be so hilarious if of all companies to change the tide on this, it would be EA. Oh man, that would be, you couldn't write that in a comic book. Despite the FIFA publisher's refusal to make a public statement regarding the issues, EA's corporate communications director, Lacey Haynes, probably a diversity hire, corporate communications director. It almost sounds like a fake job. It's borderline fake job / maybe you do something useful. I don't know. Told Kotaku that the company is focusing on making sure people have access to healthcare benefits we provide as a company, even if those aren't available locally. EA also signed an open letter opposing Texas anti-trans bill in March. There's no such thing that exists. In the wake of the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion, it would overturn abortion rights case Roe v. Wade studios, including Destiny 2. I've talked about that. Creator Bungie and Psychonauts creator, they've made themselves clear that they support child sacrifice. Like EA, however, Sony has declined to release any public statement about abortion rights. I've mentioned this before. PlayStation CEO, they mentioned this. Jim Ryan said we need to respect the differences in opinion. Remember, there was this powwow between some of the Umbrella studios because PlayStation President Jim Ryan basically came out and said, hey, respect each other. Y'all disagree on this issue, whatever. Which, it's funny how we have to look at that and say, wow, refreshing. But that used to be the default back in the gap. Well, not even that far back in the gap, not even that many years ago. Well, you were a business, you were a corporate entity, and all you cared about was making product for the people that want to buy your goods. Had nothing to do with political stuff. It's not to say that you weren't doing stuff behind the scenes. I'm saying like publicly, as far as you weren't having a public message taking these political stances. But now you do that and social stances. But Jim Ryan was like, nah. And of course, yes, Insomniac, who makes Spider-Man and who's making this upcoming Wolverine stuff. Insomniac came out and they were basically pissed off and they donated their umbrella company under Sony. But they got pissed off because Jim Ryan said what it is, and they're still trying to urge Sony and basically PlayStation to take a firm stance on this. But they're not. But it looks like that EA has said that we're respecting other people's point of view and we ain't getting involved in this. Imagine EA of all people being the ones that make sense on one issue. I can sit up here and criticize them about their pay-to-win aspects of their game and things that piss me off. And they have taken stances, like I said, in the Summer of Love in 2020 and after the George Floyd situation, along with other companies. EA was one of those. But I think EA, much like some of these other companies, this is the big company, right? And I think there's some talks about them being bought out by another big company or stuff. I don't know if that's going to be a thing that happens. But this is significant because 2 years ago, this would not have been a thing. 2 years ago, it's a no-brainer. This is the side of the authoritarian left. They take the side of the authoritarian left. EA's done it before in the past. That would be significant. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not telling you to go out there and just splurge on EA or anything. I'm just telling you that this is significant in the sense that it shows that there is some sort of uncertainty or, let's say, cautiousness, skepticism of big major entities more than what we have seen in the recent past, like I said, in the last couple of years. Now, I'm not willing to say that the pendulum's starting to swing back. I'm just more so looking at it like big company is doing something that would have been a no-brainer for them to take a position on abortion of the authoritarian left 2 years ago. But this time, unlike they did a couple of years ago, this time EA, PlayStation, PlayStation was one of those sending out all those that Black Lives Matter bullshit, skins and whatever that is, themes and shit that they were coming out with a couple of years ago. And now PlayStation President Jim Ryan says, well, Ryan, we need to respect other people's position. That's interesting. And now EA's basically saying the same thing. We need to respect other people's position. Now, to the activists that you've catered to and more than likely you hired, it's about to be some beef. Should have hired these idiots, but it's about to be some beef because you fucked up in the first place by taking their side. And now you realized it wasn't as lucrative as what you thought it would be. But that doesn't change anything about the activists that you've hired, the people that you've appealed to, that are of the social justice left, because they don't care about your bottom line at all. They only care if you advance their cause. This is why I said that they're the worst people to hire. The worst people to cater to, the worst people to hire. Because your bottom line does not, a rational person, it's not that they would say that they care about your bottom line. That's not what it is that I'm saying. But the people that specifically don't give a shit about your bottom line are for sure the authoritarian social justice left. They only care if you're useful to them. So they'll run your company into the ground if it means social justice. It's like, well, we get these we got a story we're going to cover later. Pissy broke comic book pros. They don't make books that sell any fucking money. But then Netflix, let's say, fires a bunch of these diversity hires and they're like, well, I am mad about that. Well, it's not like you were going to make this company money anyway, but you don't care about that because you're looking at it like, well, the true currency for you is the influence that you have upon the masses to advocate social justice. That's really the only reason why these companies are useful to you. It's going to be interesting to see how this continues to unfold because on this issue, Though there's been a few studios that have taken the sides of social justice. The dogs agree with me in the background. Some people are being way more cautious in terms of the position that they take. Some companies, that is.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.